This time on Highway to Health, we've got the amazing Kat Von D giving us a tour of the farm sanctuary. And we see just how far some sheep will go to get your attention.
We are on the road early to visit the farm sanctuary.
Located on a beautiful hacienda ranch in Acton, California, just 45 minutes from Hollywood.
Started in 1986 by Gene Bauer,
Who began his work in animal welfare by selling veggie hot dogs at Grateful Dead shows. Stay tuned for Gene's exclusive recipe.
The farm sanctuary now provides shelter for hundreds of farm animals that have been mistreated, discarded, or can no longer be taken care of by their owners.
Oh, hi. Just comes under your arm. I'm quite happy right now. I'll just stay here.
Are they aggressive in any way? Like,
They do definitely have a hierarchy, and we do have some
I bet you need
troublemakers.
like a chart. Yeah.
Yeah, we do have some.
rebel rousers.
Yeah, we do have a couple. So
always
Ellis,
like
actually,
Rebel
for
rouser.
example, this guy right here, he's a little bit of a troublemaker.
He is?
Yeah.
This is sweet.
Yeah, so sometimes he has been known to headbutt, but the thing is, we love them on their
But they
own
do
terms.
that, yeah.
And if he wants to headbutt,
Right.
then the vast majority of people will probably go. Oh, I'm sorry.
You got me when I was down, you
Yes,
cheeky bugger.
yes.
We had one
That's his
called
MO.
Ram Lamb in the shelter I worked in, and if I paid too much attention to the dogs, he would just come at you. And they're strong. Thanks, buddy. I needed to wait. I didn't have a second coffee.
We were lucky enough to be given the grand tour by none other than Kat Von D.
Most famous for her tattoo reality TV show, LA Ink. She's also an accomplished musician, makeup artist, fashion designer, and regular volunteer at the farm sanctuary. She was happy to tell us about the origins of the sanctuary and introduce us to some of her animal friends that live there.
I don't think I've ever met a pig that doesn't like a belly rub. It's like a universal pig
It's a
thing.
universal pig
They're just
thing.
like, oh, yes, please.
Pigs are so smart, they're so intelligent, they have like these intricate social networking between them, like they recognize each other. So if you can imagine what that would feel like is to have, you know, your babies and then have them taken away from you. You know, it's the same with doggies. But I heard that these two have made a love connection, so. So cute, little lovebirds. Yeah.
Did they like them in the bin?
It's so delicious.
You're like, we're just gonna eat it.
Like watermelon!
So delicious, huh? I love how they just saw the watermelon and just ran over here.
Yeah, look like
They're
they
just,
smell it.
Oh yeah.
Somebody loves watermelon.
Gene Bauer is like the founder of Farm Sanctuary,
Okay.
but he's been like a long-time animal rights activist since forever. And I just remember seeing this Larry King interview where he
Okay.
was kind of debating with somebody from like the Farming Association about how animals are treated. And so after that, I was just so inspired by the way he spoke about animals and just like his connection to them and how he started Farm Sanctuary. Like, you know, he was going to like Grateful Dead concerts and like
Selling veggie dogs.
yeah. And then there was Hilda, which was like the first official rescue. She was a sheep that was found in like a pile of dead sheep and just left to die, but she was still alive. And he, along with some other people, went and rescued her, and she ended up living, you know, over a decade happily and healthy. And I just was really inspired by just their approach to educating other people. I mean, I think that all forms of activism are amazing and they're all needed in their own different ways. But I love that Farm Sanctuary is like, hey, come here, meet these animals, spend time with them, make this connection and take that with you, you know, instead of, you know, barking at people on what to do or.
Nobody ever understands how big they
I
get.
know.
Enormous. I finally feel small.
We've got something that's towering Derek.
Yeah, I was born in Mexico, and so there was plenty of cows. Well, we were in like a tiny little pueblo that was like very rural. I don't really count that as meeting my first cow until I came to Farm Sanctuary.
Really meeting
Because at that point, then you're like, you know, I had already stopped eating meat and everything, and it's like you see them as not a product or as a, obviously as a
giant
life.
puppy.
Yeah, totally.
Well, what brought you to veganism?
I think I'd have to blame punk rock music,
Woo, again,
It's guilty
another
for all of us.
Yeah. I mean, I always talk about how important it is, like the voice, because, I was listening to really obscure bands like Crass and Conflict, and they impacted my life so heavily when it came to consciously living and, making decisions based on intention and how it affects the planet and animals and ourselves and all that. I just feel like even as insignificant as insignificant as it may feel, like every voice counts, like I wonder if bands like Crass understand how much of a big impact they've had on people.
And you are just bringing out the most amazing shoe range.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I became vegan, years ago, and I just thought that being vegan was just eliminating animal products from your diet, and that was it.
Right.
And so I was wearing like full clad leather, just like, and had no, I wasn't thinking like that, and it wasn't until I watched Earthlings and I saw obviously how leather is made, and it just broke my heart. I remember having to put the documentary on pause, and I held my cat just crying, and I looked at like the leather couch across the way from me, and I was like, oh, there's, it's bigger than just food, and so I just feel like once I educated myself about that, I was like, okay, diet is easy, especially living in LA. There's like so many amazing vegan restaurants. It's like, it's pretty easy to be vegan. But shoes and belts, I feel like are the hardest. I think the most challenging to find quality shoes that aren't disposable, that aren't fast fashion, contributing to that whole problem, and that are also stylish, because I think a lot of like vegan shoes are very like hippie orientated.
Thank you that you said this,
and I'm like,
because-
I'm no nothing against hacky sackers. It's just not really my style,
Man.
So, but I consider myself a modern vegan. I think a lot of people do too. And so, trying to make it easy for people to have like these compassionate choices available to them, I think it's important.
Stylish.
Yeah.
Choices
There's a
available.
lot of people really happy when you announced that. I was like, yes!
Yeah.
Like stylish vegan shoes with options.
Yeah,
as well,
yeah,
'cause you're
yeah.
right. What are your products? What are your substitute leathers made from?
Oh man, so it's pretty amazing. We're actually exploring some new leather substitutes right now, but for the existing collection, we found this amazing production company in Italy. It's like a, mom and pop's owned, organized. They're quite small, but they're making synthetic leather made out of compressed apples.
Wow.
So it's actually, not
You can
bad.
heat your jacket.
I don't know. I mean, I don't
Already
know.
getting hungry, like really.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I researched the hell out of it, trying to find a production company that would not just be willing to do it, but was capable of doing it. Because, when you're using animal leather substitutes, it's a whole different process of mounting, and the materials are different.
Right.
And so I remember the first factory we went to, they were just like confused, like, what do you mean no leather? That was like a challenging part. And then when I did find this perfect factory, it was like amazing. I was just like, yay,
They get it, they see the future.
Yeah, and there is a huge future in it. You see like so many, huge fashion houses that are turning more towards that, which is, I think it's a really great time that we're living in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I was gonna say, where's Bruno? We're all waiting to see Bruno.
Little thing.
I like his bangs.
Isn't it great? I love these little cows. It's like you put your hairpiece on today. Afro.
It's like an emo cow.
Yeah, his little bang. Hey everybody, it's Kat Von D, and you're watching Highway to Health.
Hang on a minute. Didn't we promise you a recipe?
Hey, dude.
Hey,
Hi.
great to see you guys.
So I have a question. I know that you were famous for your Grateful Dead veggie hot dogs.
Yes.
We want to know how you make them.
What's your process of making these incredible veggie dogs?
Process is pretty darn easy. First step is you put oil in a pan. Second step, You put the veggie dog in the pan, you heat it up. Step 3 is you put it in a bun of your choosing. I use pita bread, which is what we used to use during the Grateful Dead days. After that, I guess that's step 4 or whatever, you can put your condiments on
Nice.
and then enjoy.
And just like that, a meat-free meal.
Simple, easy. Veggie dog, yum.
I like veggie dogs.
I'm Gene Bauer from Farm Sanctuary, and I want to thank you for watching Highway to Health. And check out the next video here.